name is Ricardo Herrera, and I'm one of the co-chairs of the High Road Economic Development, along with Aaron there. So, Mr. Goins, we're getting ready to get started. Okay, how you doing?
I'm getting started right now.
And Aaron is the co-chair. You want to say hi, Aaron?
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Hi, Aaron. Let's spend some time together this week. Haven't been that long.
Why don't we get started with a round of introductions? Why don't we start here on my left and the rest we can move around?
Sydney Brown, Black Champion Coalition, Rock Historic Community Coalition.
Hey everybody, Nate Deli with Open Buffalo.
Debbie Hughes from CWA. Adrian Hill, Open Buffalo. Elizabeth Reisinger, Open Buffalo.
Max Anderson, Open Buffalo. Aaron Bartley, Push Buffalo, Open Buffalo.
Rangel, Open Buffalo.
McLean, Open Buffalo.
Kirk Robinson, CJ, Open Buffalo.
Kevin Connor, Public Accountability Initiative.
Larry Goins, and resident.
Harry Greer, resident.
Steve Mackey, Football Task Force.
Kyle Marler, I'm working with Squeaky Wheel and Open Buffalo, a filmmaker.
Veronica Hemphill Nichols, Task Force.
Harvard Hill, Mulberry and Friends Block Club.
Sandy Campbell Hill, Mulberry Street and Friends Block Club.
Orlando Boykin, resident.
Annette Lott, Fruit Belt United.
And like I said, I'm Ricardo Herrera. We have a very ambitious agenda.
There's also a gentleman.
Mr. Reese,
Peter.
how are you? You want to introduce yourself? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Peter Reese. I'm a universal troublemaker.
Are you joining our meeting or are you just standing over there?
I'm filming.
Okay. I want to deviate from the agenda for just one moment because we have two sets of cameras in the room today. And it occurred to us that at some point we need to get everybody's approval and get a sense. So we know Squeaky Wheel. There was some discussion, but I don't think there was ever a final vote on the Squeaky Wheel Productions and whether folks felt very comfortable. The same thing, Mr. Reese?
Yes.
Can you give us some explanation as to what the purpose is? Is this video? Is this still photography?
It's video and audio, okay?
It's
in
video?
much the same manner as full video and audio. That is my remote mic at the table there. I should be able to pick up just about everything in the room. It is for purposes of posting on either my blog or Art Voice or elsewhere in much the same manner as the video which I shot at the park in the other day.
Okay, I think that raises a point for clarification at this point. I think, especially as we get further into the CBA negotiations piece, the question is going to be in terms of either taping the meetings, videotaping the meetings, etc. What are our expectations, and do folks feel comfortable with that? So I think there are two pieces. I don't think we ever. I know Squeaky Wheel did its presentation last week. I was not aware, Mr. Reese, that you were coming to tape, and apparently nobody else was as well. So I guess I would like to get a sense from folks. Should there be a much more formal process? And is there intent? Can we open up some dialogue on this very quickly, or do we want to? I see shaking heads. I see
Ricardo, can I provide a little clarification from Squeaky Wheel's end?
Okay.
Just in terms of today, I just brought the camera because I'm on my way to another event, and I was going to get permission from everybody whether they are comfortable being on camera, and we're going to do individual interviews later on at a later phase in the process. But for today, it was just going to be no audio, just people talking without audio if people consent to that. Otherwise.
Kyle was invited to be at this meeting, and there's been several meetings, and the purpose of the Squeaky Wheel film project was actually a response to residents in the Fruit Belt at previous meetings asking for Open Buffalo to help to facilitate that process. So that's actually been an ongoing part of this table. Ms. Reese's presence, it doesn't sound like it has any of that. So I don't know if you were invited to come to this meeting or asked permission to start filming or recording audio at this meeting?
I was informed of this meeting by Veronica Hemphill Nichols, and she said that if I wanted to come, she didn't know it was open or not. I find it rather interesting that Open Buffalo brought a camera in, and clearly intended to film the meeting.
Right, sorry, did you hear about this?
But the issue didn't come up until I came in with a camera. So it appears to me you have some
Just
sort
to
of differential
clarify
rules
it,
here.
Peter Reese is a member of the task force. We had our meeting this morning, and as a task force member, I told him that we'll see what you guys do if he chooses to bring his camera. So, but as a task force member, I told him it was okay for him to come to the table. Just like Larry Goins is here for the first time as a task force member, Henry Greer, okay, him. So we, you know, kind of like been doing that. So if you guys have an issue, because I left it discreetly up to him, I couldn't say yea or nay.
So let me ask you this. Two separate issues then. As far as I'm concerned, Mr. Reese being here at the Open Buffalo meetings, I don't have a problem with that. Is there a problem with that? Because as far as we know, we're still into membership. It has not posed.
I think being at the table is different than filming and publishing something on a public blog. I don't know if you were going to ask that as the second part to the question.
Yes, that would be the second part of the question. So in terms, Ronnie, in terms of Mr. Reese's participation, I don't think there's any objection to that at all. The question was that the filming and the taping to put on a blog, I think that raises some concern. And then there's a procedural piece. We knew that Squeaky Wheel had done a presentation for us. We had had several conversations, and I was there when the membership did talk about wanting to create that project. So that was one of the projects added to the list. So we do know that, and he did a presentation a month ago or so.
Yeah, and those are completely apples and oranges. Like Kyle is here as part of an ongoing project and is offering to do some filming. He's not filming the meeting, as opposed to this, which seems very different to me. Like, so you didn't ask for anyone's permission to film this meeting, and now you're here just pointing a camera at us. That seems inconsistent with the values.
Well, I'm very interested in knowing if you're going to throw me out.
No, I
That's
think we already
certainly
answered that.
I mean, are you doing something here that you're ashamed of?
Can I just ask a question that's really directed at Peter?
I mean, what difference does it make if it
Mr.
goes on
Reese.
a blog?
Just
I'll
ask
answer
one-
all your questions.
Sorry, Peter, if I could just ask one question, Veronica, if you want to chime in too. I know you're both fighters for the people. You've been out here struggling in this battle. You both know that the strategies we're putting together here are under attack. You've got some enemies, powerful enemies. They're very well-funded enemies.
Right.
They're big enemies. They want
Yes.
to shut us down. They want the neighborhood. They want
Right.
your neighborhood. I don't see how filming this and putting our strategy talk online advances what I know you want.
That's true. And like I said, my thing was I left it to him to talk to you guys about it, to see whether or not y'all could work it out. But pretty much I just said, as far as this meeting goes, the task force memberships, yes. But as far as him, you know, Peter filming it, that is at his discretion, is at your discretion. And I'm kind of like stepping back and let you guys work that out.
Okay, I say we take an up and down vote on the proposed alternative use, and we invite Mr. Reese back to talk with us, then we can put him on the agenda as to perhaps some rules of engagement here that we might feel more comfortable with. Part of it for me is a protocol issue that we just didn't know anything about it, and we knew that we were going to have to ask some questions as to, okay, exactly what is the purpose, how is it going to be used, how can we then ensure that as we develop and strategize, that it's not blocked out on an ongoing basis. And I don't think Mr. Reese would intentionally do that. So I think it's just a matter of having some dialogue as to how we can do this and how we can make some sort of accommodation to this. So
I suggest that we try to keep this short because it's already 6:30. This wasn't on the agenda, and we have
That's
a lot of
his.
important stuff on the agenda. There's updates from several board meetings and actions on Monday. The film that we've actually been trying to work on. You know, the UC meeting that I think was pretty, that sounded really exciting, also on Monday. That's also we're not going to get too, if we just.
If I could just make one point in reference to what is at hand, I would say both are true, and I agree with what we're saying as far as strategizing. But I'll say while Squeaky Wheel did do a presentation for us, we as a group did not discuss to say whether or not they're coming. So no offense to Squeaky Wheel, but he's in the same category as far as a protocol, that we should as a group know what's gonna come, because even with the email that Max sent out, Squeaky Wheel was not a part of the agenda that I was anticipating.
If I could just
In all
clarify.
fairness, that should be consistent. I'm all about consistency.
No, I agree, and I want to put a stop to this. So what I'd like to get a vote on is whether we can stop both the filming options right now and put it on the table for a discussion. Try to set up some meetings and put it on as a vote for the next meeting, because this agenda is very full.
If I've got the ballot sheet right in front of me right now, I can just rattle down the names if we want to do it that way.
Well, I would just say, I don't think we really need to have a vote. I would just say, as far as protocol, I don't think anything should come to the table. It's not something we even have to entertain unless we discuss to say that we want it here.
So
I would
let's
say
put
neither
this
should
issue,
be present.
let's put this issue about the videotaping and rules and stuff as part of one of the agenda items for next time. Let's put it off, and we're gonna request both Squeaky Wheels and Mr. Reese to please turn off the cameras for now. Mr. Reese, would you comply with that? Compromise? Thank you so much.